Hello again, this is Frantz Kantor, a cartoonist, illustrator, caricaturist, I have to mention all the time, because apparently that's a different thing, different kettle of fish. I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm one of the people who set up the Cartoon Museum.
Yeah, and today we're drawing someone else who helped set up the Cartoon Museum.
Yeah.
And his name is
Ian McCall.
And who is Ian McCall? He's the president of the chapter of the...
Well, he's the Victorian president of the ACA, the Australian Cartoonist Association, at the moment.
So otherwise used to be called the Black and White Artists Club.
That's correct.
And why was it called the Black and White Artists Club? Because they did
obviously
musicals, or
people's thoughts were coloured.
So they did show tunes.
Yes.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They wore penguin suits.
They did unmerry melodies.
Yes, they wore penguin suits, and they
now
celebrated
you're talking
newspapers.
You're talking about the 20s and the 30s. Actually, the biggest balls...
Well, I remember being invited to white tie and black tie events.
Yeah, but in the 20s and 30s, the black and white balls were the biggest ball of the season.
Right.
And they were all put on by the cartoonists, and they went to great... I mean, it was like indoor...
cricket.
No, it was like indoor Moomba parades. They did all sorts of... They made paper mache...
Wow, they put a lot of money into the thing, into the proceedings, a lot of time.
Yeah, well, alcohol cost a lot of money, yeah.
And then that's when the premiers and the prime ministers would come along.
Yeah, and all the rich ladies, you know,
yes.
Show off their diamonds.
Fantastic.
I'm not sure. I think they raised money for
Children's Hospital
and things like that, but but they were a big
that.
deal. They were a really big deal. You know?
It's good fun. I've done that. Okay, so I'm just trying to work out some shapes to play with Ian McCall, and he's got some very striking features. You know, he looks very deep.
He looks like Lincoln with a rock and roll haircut there.
I think much more smiley than Lincoln. It's one thing about you'll know about Ian when you meet him. He's very, very tall. He's a giant.
Very tall.
And
especially at one end.
Stands out a lot.
Especially.
Yeah. One end.
One end's
so he's got really short legs.
One end is taller than the other.
All right.
Keep drawing.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, and he also
actually
like
when he
you
was
just heard there.
When he was a kid,
he's the master of the pun. Of the dad joke.
He's the mangler of the pun. The mangler. But
so I'm just trying to work out some shapes.
He was bullied as a kid, and he went home and told his dad the kid's a bull, and they call him Titch. And his dad says to him, "You go back and tell those kids you're only short at one end, all right?"
Right.
So he did, and he's grown in stature ever since.
Okay. All right. So how are we going to light this? We've got this strange shape here, which kind of looks like a pork chop. So we've got a pork chop shape for his head, right?
When's the last time you bought a pork chop? That looks more like a whale.
Or a lamb chop, or a whale. Could be a whale. I don't want to draw a whale over
looks
there.
like a sperm whale taking off.
I don't want to draw that. I want to stop making me think about things like that.
What do you got against mammals? What do you got against mammals?
Because I'm trying to concentrate on a simple shape.
All right.
So if you can get... The idea is we're favouring a simple shape, right? So you're able to exaggerate something simple. Okay? I wish I had some... Do you have that blue tack?
Oh,
if we had that blue tack,
we'll
send him away for some blue tack. So I'm going to... You know what I'm going to do? Next time, I'm going to do a skull.
Oh, sorry.
And we're going to do a skull in something that we can...
Skull Murphy.
Don't get me started. Skull Murphy and Brute Bernard and Contolios and all the greats from the wonderful wide world of wrestling.
You missed out on Killer Kowalski, and they weren't on the wide world of wrestling.
Well, they weren't.
No, that's an American show.
Oh, what were they on? Wrestle? No. What was the Australian show? I was only a little kid. Anyway, so the idea is to imagine the face being made of putty like this, okay?
Yeah.
So you have the ability to draw out the details and really referencing the...
Most people think you draw in the details.
No.
Okay.
First you get the basic shapes down, you exaggerate the shapes, and then you kind of work out the how far away, how to push them, how far to drag them and push them and pull them. And if you have that ability to push and pull a face, you get more out of the exercise.
Are you
It'll be
saying
more
that
fun.
before you
Remember,
start...
number one. Rule number one. What's rule number one?
Sharpen your pencils.
No. Rule number one is have fun. Okay? So you're always only ever pleasing yourself. You must please number one.
Rule number two, have a lot of fun. Have a lot of fun.
Have a lot of fun.
So, hang on. Can you put that back under the camera? So are you saying that it would help a caricaturist before he starts just to have a mess around?
Yeah.
With something like this?
Always mess around.
No, with this.
Yeah.
Have something like this in
Because-
your tray.
Yeah, well, this is fun because you're thinking and looking and referencing shadows and form, okay? So we're going to be using
But I'll take it off
pencils.
camera. I'll take it off camera. It looks a bit freaky, you know. Thank you.
So we're going to be drawing with 3 coloured pencils if I can find them. We're going to draw with a little tiny black pencil. There's a bit bigger pencil, and we're going to be drawing with a white pencil.
Put that behind your ear.
No, I didn't want to do that. We're going to be drawing with a white pencil. There's a tinier white pencil. I should go and raid the art box. Anyway, so this is a soft white pencil. No, that's a hard white pencil. Where's the soft white pencil? This is a Faber-Castell. Faber-Castells are quite a hard, very good quality lead or pigment. They're not really lead. So very good quality pigment in probably a waxy format. This is a softer version. This is of course, a Prismacolor. They're soft. These are Prismacolors as well. The brown is a Prismacolor.
That's for small drawings, that one.
Right, thumbnails.
Thumbnails, that's a thumbnail.
Because it's thumbnail size.
Yeah.
So this, believe it or not, this thing here is a thumbnail. So I'm trying to work out an approach, right? It's like a battle plan. So this is the battle plan. So over here, we're going to put the light source, right? Which means we're going to look at drawing darker on the opposite side of the form that we're drawing, which is Ian's face. And what else is there to think about? There's a white beard, which is very striking. There's white hair, obviously very big feature. Eyebrows are a big
curly
feature.
And wiry.
He's developed quite a strong nose.
Yes.
Which seems to be very even, doesn't have a lot of, shape. Remember, the launching pad for noses is this thing here, right? So sometimes you get like a very strong, pronounced, bony part of the nose up here. All right. So what else is there? Something to talk about. Also, the other thing we need to discuss.
It's got a thick neck.
Yeah. Well.
Not
it's
one of those
just
skinny
working on
ones that you try and get out of drawing.
Well,
you've got a thick neck. You'll have to do a lot more drawing.
But the eyes, the nose, and the mouth are the areas where we're going to focus attention on. Okay, this is a sort of a mask zone or T-zone.
He's got an interesting face because his T-zone's all in the right place.
Yeah, but you're referring to these elements all the time, so you're zipping over these features constantly, referring and measuring and comparing.
Zipping.
Yes, with your eyes.
Is that an official drawing word?
It's like if your eyes have got a laser pointer, it's going tick, tick,
zipping.
Tick, 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 tick. Always checking it out, right?
Zip,
so I've kind of taken the license of that and drawn a very quick version so we can start, so it doesn't look like we've got like a blank sheet of paper.
You've given him a whiskey nose already.
Yeah.
I don't think he drinks alcohol. I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
Okay. So it'll all come clear in the wash. So we're going to, I don't know why everything's rolling away. And this is, oops, I shouldn't touch this.
Not touch.
Be careful. All right, so let's start.
Yeah,
something.
well, we're here at downtown Docklands, and the rain's coming down like...
buckets.
Cats and dogs. Buckets, and cats and dogs.
In
and
buckets. cats and dogs in buckets.
Yes.
And they're very wet and
And
noisy.
that's the white noise or the wet noise you hear in the background.
So it's it's one of those. It's one of those days today where everything that can go wrong will go wrong, because it's damp and annoying and frustrating and stuff. So I
funny.
hope this is not going to
Whenever
be
you rub out,
of
the
condition.
skull wobbles.
Does it?
It's like he's not happy. Yorick.
Ah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he wobbles from side to... Hang on. Whack a bit of... That's it. That's it. Get your teeth in. That's it. Good. That's it.
Right. All right. So,
where do
what else is where I'm trying to get some sense of shape with the eyes. Keep the eyes in perspective, of course, because there's, they line up. And the face is there's a 3/4 view of the face, so there is a little bit of foreshortening and a little bit of perspective to contend with. So we think about these things while we're drawing. It's not a shopping list, it's not a race, take your time.
So the 3/4 part of the face, is that to get out of drawing or what? Extra drawing or...
Listen to that.
Is that a
Right, okay.
way you can cut down
Yeah,
on
I hate
labour?
drawing. I'm a lazy person, so it's really a matter of...
I get the impression that when you're drawing, that's when you're the most relaxed.
I should be.
Oh.
Someone said to me, I should be.
Keep drawing.
Someone said to me a long time ago that hey, I took up painting and I find it very relaxing. And I said to him, if you're finding it very relaxing, you're doing it wrong.
Well,
it was a joke, but
most artists,
it's supposed to be serious.
They have to focus for long periods of time, shut off the phone and people and the noises and the radio and everything, and they go for this sort of like...
I don't like doing that. I don't.
No,
like
but that's how a lot of artists have to work. They have to work that way.
I like having like music blaring and...
Oh yeah.
In the zone. The zone is very important.
Okay,
to get into the zone.
Yeah. And can you describe...
Ian, to me, his personality, Ian...
Can you describe what the zone is for all those people who've never experienced it?
You're dipping your paintbrush into...
Now be careful what you say here.
The ether of genius. So...
What colour's that?
Pink.
Oh,
so
okay,
all the colours of the rainbow, as long as it's pink.
Yeah.
And why it's important is because.
Oh.
And that's why. It's just,
because of the wonderful things he does.
Well, there you go. In a way, that's true, because you can't. It's it's indefinable.
Ah.
So how do you define the indefinable?
Indefinable, that's what you are.
So the idea of a creative genius, right, is just being alone with your thoughts.
Yeah.
And having a good time, the time of your life. This is the time of your life here. You're enjoying it. I'm touching his face with my pencil, and I don't like touching people. And I don't like
we
people
know
touching
that.
me. But
we know that.
Yeah, but I like dentists. I don't mind them touching the inside of my mouth.
We're worried about you. I think you're the only person on the planet who likes dentists.
I hate haircuts.
You hate haircuts?
Oh, I can't stand them.
Really?
Yeah, because the people touch your head. It drives.
What if they're attractive
creeps
female haircutters?
Are you going to them because they're going to give you a good haircut, or are you going to them because you're attracted to females?
No. I'm just saying that you obviously can't stand people touching your hair, but is it better or worse when a woman cuts your hair?
Well, it'd be better, I presume. Depends.
I think they tend to do a better job, personally, on your hair.
Yeah, look, women do a better job in any case.
They do.
No matter what they bloody do.
That's Well, why aren't there more women caricaturists? That's what I say.
There are a few.
Oh, there are a few, yeah.
There's no reason why. It's, I guess it's You could say that about anything. Why do they have so few women chefs? Why is there so few women presidents? It's just, that's
Well,
how
it's getting
it goes,
pretty worse.
buddy.
I mean, all these blokes want to become women. They're sort of getting harder and harder now.
Is this going to be a non-PC
No,
conversation?
It's all right. We won't talk
Are
about
we going
Germaine
to-
Greer.
Oh my
We
God.
won't.
Germaine Greer.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, that's a pretty good photo you've chosen to use.
I like
It's a good, very good
There's
source.
something about his face. So,
Yeah.
it's actually... Look, he's a beautiful personality.
Let's not get
such a lovely personality.
let's not get carried away.
Let's get carried away.
For all you listeners
Diamonds
out
are a
there, he's
girl's
trying to
best
do a very
friend.
bad Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
Very bad Jerry Lewis. I think it's closer to Dean Martin. Actually, it's that bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about Ian, right?
Yeah,
Now, what
let's
is
talk.
Ian? Ian, he was, like all cartoonists. Actually, he's a cartoonist.
Yes.
But when he was a little boy, he told his dad he wanted to be a cartoonist, and his dad set him down and gave him the facts of life and said, "Don't you dare be a cartoonist. It's a waste of time. You go into the public service." That's it.
Yep.
And he listened to his dad, and he did the occasional drawing. He produced a calendar and a.
Yep.
He's sent me Christmas cartoon cards for the last 20 years.
Yep.
And he does the odd little poster for the AECA occasionally, and that's
Yep.
about it. But, and this is a big but, he has the
like big
biggest
buts.
collection. He has the biggest private collection of cartoon originals in Australia.
Yes, he does.
That's right.
And very...
If you give him 2 seconds, he'll spend an hour telling you all about it.
Yeah, you will. But,
will,
it's somebody that loves the medium so well. He really understands it and appreciates it.
Yeah.
I've had so many conversations, as you said, you start out, you think this conversation will last about 10 minutes. We've got nothing further to say. But, of course, you'd be surprised. You get
He can tell
involved
you.
in long
He can tell you the
conversations
difference
about his-
between,
his
early
collection.
Clary King, mid Clary King, and late Clary King.
or even who is Clary King.
Yeah. And Benny, of course.
And who is Benia?
Oh, he's bigger than. He's bigger than. Benny was bigger than Clary King. You're from Sydney. You should know these things.
Yeah, I haven't.
And he wore Benny wore a beret
Yep.
like Unc White did. So that they're artists.
Yes.
Now I'm just worried about that Elvis Presley thing on top up there. You've got to turn it into.
Make it windswept and interesting.
Yes. Think Emily Bronte. Think Wuthering Heights. Go
Right.
for it.
Yes. So.
Yes. So he's a
speaking
collector.
Heathcliff,
He's a collector of originals.
He is.
He is. And
But what does that mean, though? Why would somebody collect originals? What do they get out
well,
of
he's
it?
a connoisseur. He likes
Okay, connoisseur.
seeing the difference between
what's-
like for instance, I'll tell you how he started off.
Yeah.
And this is a good story. He he used to read The Age, and there were pocket cartoons
Yeah.
by Tandberg.
Yep.
And then he actually bumped into Tandberg one day,
Yeah.
and he asked him. He said, why do you draw so small?"
Right.
And Tandberg looked at him, and then he realised, because he doesn't, because Tandberg's drawings are a little bit bigger than they're published,
Yeah.
because they're published as pocket cartoons.
Yes. They're not drawn as pocket
That's right.
cartoons.
So he explained that to him, and then he said, well, that's interesting. I'd like to see one. And then he said, what do you do with them? I just chuck them in a drawer when they're finished, Oh, okay, because they're not used anymore, So he got some originals off Tandberg, and Tandberg's a very simplified cartoonist. He could finish his cartoon in like,
In a minute.
in a minute and a half flat. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. But the idea, of course, takes a lot longer.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole eureka part of the getting the idea for him.
Yeah.
And so he started collecting, and then he joined the Australian Cartoonist Association, which was, as you keep on referring it to, the Black and White Club,
Yep.
the same year I did, which was over 30 years ago.
Right.
And he became the Victorian sort of secretary,
Yep.
and he organised a lot of the
Functions.
functions and things, yeah,
Yep.
along with Vane Lindsay.
Yep.
And of course,
We should draw Vane Lindsay. Vane Lindsay.
yeah, he's got a great face.
Yeah.
Great
and
face.
His very distinctive style too. Because
Yeah,
I used to grow up with the Post magazine.
Australasian
Because
Post.
because it
Actually-
had all these UFO articles
that's
and
right, they
pictures
did,
in it,
they
and
did.
I was everything about UFOs. I was involved. I was a member of UFOic and UFORPA.
You were.
Well, they're
you
ridiculous
were,
names.
Were you? hang on.
UFORPA.
You were euphoric about UFO.
Yeah, I was euphoric
Okay.
about
All right.
UFOs. I loved UFOs.
But do you believe in them now? Do you believe?
No,
believe-
I
you
didn't
don't?
believe in them then. But the
Really?
well, show me the proof.
Oh, well, I've had a few sources chucked at me head.
Uh-huh. Show me the show me the
Show me the
proof. You
Well,
know,
the American government
Show me the
just
truth.
published
Can't
the
handle
proof
the truth.
about
UFOs.
a month ago.
Yeah, inconclusive. They used to do the same thing. I had
Inconclusive proof? What
Yeah.
sort of proof is that?
Project Blue Book. Inconclusive.
Oh,
So the whole thing, you know, I had Project Blue Book and I read it cover to cover, and that was just about reports of UFO reports gathered over several.
I had
periods,
trouble with that
several years.
book. I had a lot of trouble with that book.
What? Why?
Well, being colourblind, I couldn't see the blue.
So tell me a little bit about this. Were you always colourblind?
At an early age, yeah. Well, it's called genetics.
How early? Birth?
No, pre. It's
Right.
called conception.
And it's called genetics.
Yes, that's the stuff.
So what it is you confuse two colours basically.
Yeah, that's it.
Blue and pink.
You don't
Blue
see
and
everything
purple.
in black and white or grey. No, it's not like that.
No,
But there's about 32 and a half varieties of it,
there is.
and some characters invented glasses that solved the problem.
They solve some of the problems. Have you
Ah.
ever tried those?
No, I'm scared.
You're scared to see colour.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, no, it's just that, you know, I have permanent Catholic filters on my glasses, you know. I don't take them off.
Catholic filters.
Yeah, you don't see the bad stuff. They're not even red either.
Right.
No, rose coloured, that's it.
Rose
They're not
coloured.
even rose coloured.
Rosicrucian coloured.
Yeah, that's it. Wild and woolly. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's got a nice head on his shoulders.
You're making him look like a nice bloke.
Look,
Don't get carried away.
He's a nice bloke. So
Yeah, he's what you call amiable.
I'm going to draw. You know what I'm going to draw
He's amiable.
the
He tosses jokes at you. They don't always get there. You
black
know.
and white ink bottle.
Out of the inkwell.
You want a black and white ink. Well,
Send him away again. Yeah, I want a reference of the black and white artist logo. Have you got one? Handy?
oh, okay. I'll just.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
Forget
Rocky,
it. It's not
nothing up the sleeve.
It's not relevant. Forget about it. Forget about it, man. Forget about it. So, tell me a little bit more about his collection. What has he got
Well,
now?
he's-
He started out with a Tamberg, and then he's gone
Well, he's got lots of stuff.
American Illustrators.
Yeah, he's got a Peanuts.
Peanuts, the
Yeah.
original Charles M. Schultz.
Correct. And that's gold.
That's not. It's a cartoon.
Part of his collection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of his collection.
It's not gold.
He hasn't got any of my stuff.
Your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Because I'm a
cartoon in the shape
I'm
of
a
an ashtray.
I'm a closet cartoonist. I draw small.
Okay. I don't know.
It's one of my pencils. Yeah.
Right. Let's try and hit this. I'm going to try and hit him in the eye.
Now, I'll tell you something about him.
and hit him
There
in the
was a period in his life, roughly about 10 years, where he was a dead ringer for Billy Connolly.
Right.
And he
Isn't that interesting?
He even started to shave his beard so he looked like
Yes.
Bully Connolly. Bully. And Billy started to...
Object.
No, Billy started to dye his beard purple. You remember that?
Yeah.
And so did he.
It looked like he'd been sick.
Well, he was sick for a while.
He just vomited
No, we're not going to talk
Purple-
about vomit jokes, are we?
purple dye on
Actually,
his lips.
Billy Connolly cornered the market in vomit jokes.
Did he?
Yeah. Hang on, impersonation of Billy Connolly coming up, all right?
Well, you
Get
do
ready,
it.
get ready?
Yeah, here we go,
okay.
folks.
Have you noticed that when you vomit, there's always wee bit of carrot in it?
Where does it come from?
Yeah, I don't eat carrot. Where does it come from? And sometimes peas. Peas, I've never eaten a pea in my life. Where does it come from? Well, that's pretty bad
There's a
Scottish.
pea-
That was
there's a-
pretty bad Scottish, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a pea fairy.
But how does it
That's where
get?
it
How does
comes
it get
from.
under all those
Because
mattresses?
the pea fairy follows
How does it
drunk
get under all
people
those
around.
mattresses? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, God, that's an old English...
Oh, it's probably
Story?
German.
That's the...
The Princess
it
and the
is. It's,
Pea.
what is that? The Brothers Grimm.
I don't know.
Pretty grim joke.
Yeah. Now, what I don't get is how come your little sketch looks less like him than the finished drawing?
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's a great drawing you're doing, yeah? This
Because I'm referring more to...
Oh,
here I'm
okay.
just basically
Yeah.
getting the... I'm thinking
You've
about
moved away from
broad
the
shapes.
natural inclination to draw him as Lincoln.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get away from drawing broad shapes and try to get into details. You see,
So this
The whole
this guy's done a lot of stuff. He's been one of those, those parents that look after wayward kids, cottage parents. He's been a cottage parent,
all right.
and he's hands-on, nappies and looking after kids.
Oh dear.
And he's been a school teacher,
Yeah.
and he worked for some telecommuting company who I won't give them a free ad for.
So
And he's
Vodafone.
is that a dry cough?
No.
Oh, okay.
Vodafone.
No,
Orange.
it's not Vodafone. It's not Orange. No.
Virgin.
But if you keep on doing that, you'll make a big pond. I rest
Yes.
my case.
No. Don't do that. It will sink in the
Yes.
big
So
pond.
and he's pretty amiable, and his jokes are worse than mine, which is saying something. But I tell grandfather jokes. He only tells dad jokes.
Right. What's the difference between a grandfather joke and a dad
Oh,
joke?
they're worse.
They're worse.
Oh, much more worse.
Okay.
And you know what's right down the bottom? The worst jokes?
Grandmother jokes?
No.
Mother jokes?
Priest jokes.
Priest jokes?
Everybody has to laugh at them.
You have to laugh at
Yeah,
them.
because he's a priest, you see. And everybody feels sorry for... Well, they used to. They're not anymore. But, I'll give an example of a priest joke,
Everyone feels sorry and now they
What's the recipe for making holy water?
don't. Oh, God.
That's right. You get ordinary water and you boil hell out of it. And people wait about 30 seconds and then they start laughing. It's respect. I think.
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a tolerance. You have to build up
It's
an immunity
a form
to
of
that.
tolerance, yes.
bullshit.
It's a form of tolerance, yeah.
Fancy having to put that up with that on a Sunday.
Anyway, when you drive up to Sydney from Melbourne to a cartoonist awards
sometimes
night,
rabbis do sermons
Ian's,
like that
Ian-
too. And
Ian's sitting in the
annoys
back
me.
seat, and every second adjective that comes out of your mouth in the front seat gets turned into a pun in the back seat.
For how many hours?
By the time you get to Benalla, you want to kill the bastard. And of course, there's a character called Danny Zemp,
Yeah.
who encourages all this sort of behaviour,
Yeah.
and he feeds him all this stuff. Anyway, the trouble is with getting old like me is that you've heard all the jokes before. You've never told any as good as that, but you've heard them all,
Right. So these are just short little puns,
Yes.
innuendos and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Right.
I always regard him as a retarded cartoonist who starts with puns and never gets past puns. Most cartoonists start with puns, and
Well, the
he
thing
never
with
got
puns-
past them.
Figures of speech and puns work beautifully in the world of cartoon.
They do.
because cartoons
Because they're figures
are
of
a very
speech.
strange.
They're figures of speech.
Yeah, cartoons are a very strange
Amalgam.
phenomenon. Or,
Words
you
and
know,
pictures.
Yeah, symbols, and
Yes, it's all there.
there's a lot of stuff involved in the world of cartoons.
I'm very disappointed that before he died, Freud never wrote a book about cartoons. He wrote a book about Leonardo da Vinci, and he even wrote a book about humour.
Yeah. Was that funny? Full of German jokes? German sense
Now,
of
look,
humour?
don't
Well,
get...
German sense of humour.
German jokes are good.
Yeah. Why?
Well, they are. They're just different.
They are different.
Very different.
Yeah.
And here I go into my lecture about how American comedy has been heavily influenced by
German jokes, German humour, and
that's right.
rhythm.
And Australian humour has been heavily influenced by the Irish and the British.
And the Cockneys.
The Cockney.
Cockney. Like rhyming slang and...
If you have a map of England, can you explain to me where Cockney is?
It's
I know it's somewhere in London.
it's north of Shut the Fuck Up. Just
Oh,
north.
okay.
It's just north of Shut the Fuck Up.
Okay, right.
So, you know, the suburb of Shut the Fuck Up is very it's very agricultural, you know. It's full of bulls.
Bulls.
Yes, and it's full of it.
Can you do a good impersonation of your father?
My father was
He was.
my father's brothers. He had 3 brothers.
It sounded like the beginning of a
And,
joke.
Yeah. No, they had, when they came here, they had very strong accents, like not northern accents.
Ooh, bonny laddie. Ooh,
No. They had
They were
they had
Londoners.
London accents, like.
So they talk like taxi drivers, did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
but my father had a cultured accent. He actually learnt a little bit of.
Culture.
Yeah, I don't know why.
What?
He just
They
he
teach
just liked-
culture in England, do they?
He just didn't like having that accent, you know, where everybody can tell where you're from type of thing.
Oh,
He
yeah.
liked to sort of, not big note himself, but, you know, he liked, he enjoyed talking with people, and he didn't want that to sort of stunt his, you know, how people thought about him.
Yes. Well, they judge a man by his
A lot of
his
accents
shoes
in
and his
England.
accents and
Yeah, in America
and
as
the
well. You
stains
know,
on his
when
tie,
you talk
all
to
that sort of
somebody
stuff. Yeah.
and they have an accent, and you kind of have an impression that they're a
Yeah.
yokel or
Yeah.
a bumpkin or something like that.
Yeah.
So he didn't want that. He didn't like that. He thought it was.
You're from Joyzy. You're from Joyzy, are you? Joyzy.
Yeah, Joyce's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, before you get too deep into those canyons of the face,
canyons of the face.
do you want to
windmills of your mind?
do you want to discuss these? Why has
He has a very even temper,
he does?
and
He's never hit me ever.
No,
I've thrown a lot of things at him.
yeah, and he throws it back.
Yes.
So
does.
he has a very even temper. There's quite measured. So there's very few conflicts going on. There is a little bit of some,
He's a bit of a gentle giant, you reckon?
he is.
Oh, okay.
He's very quick with the wit
Yes.
and very quick with the thoughts.
He
And
cracks.
He has a lot of passion. There's a lot of passion.
Where? Show me.
Okay, see these deep
Oh,
dimples?
that's passion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like very passionate about about life, about things,
he is.
and that. He thinks a lot about it, and it means a lot to him. So anything that's important to him is important, and he'll tell you why it's important. The interesting thing is, though, his collection is very eclectic. So it's surprisingly eclectic.
Yeah.
You know, like I would never in a million years collect some of the cartoons that he has, and to know about them as well. is
Yeah, but
another
you're a
thing.
snob from Sydney.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. See?
But it's
It
like
is very eclectic. He has big pictures
Echoes, very echoes.
and little pictures.
yeah.
Actually, he's got about 2 pieces he doesn't know who did them.
Yeah,
And that really, really gets to him.
yeah, it'll keep him up at night because
Yeah,
he's
really
very,
gets to him.
He's very studious.
I guts to know.
Well, it's a puzzle, and he gets a lot out of these things because the cartoons that he collects. Really, it's not just a case of filing them away. He'll look at them for hours and hours.
That's right.
And unravel their deeper meaning and stories and things.
And organise meetings
sometimes,
so people can look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. That's part of the sharing your... I guess, I can't tell whether stamp collectors have the same sort of passions, but...
They do.
Do they? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. They just have a lot more tweezers. Ian's also a great mate because I have this huge Uncle Scrooge money bin full of cartoons.
Have you?
And he comes every so often and shakes his head at the mess, and he comes and he spends, probably 1 out of 2 weeks, and comes and gives me a full day and helps.
So you're talking about your museum,
sorting it,
which is full of newspaper cuttings
and all sorts of stuff,
All sorts of stuff. There's also a very big library, 10,000 books or so.
And counting.
They're all art books and cartoon books and things that are very, very hard to get. If you're interested, you could check out the Australian Cartoon Museum toontalk.show, where we talk about books.
Where we actually do book reviews. We do book reviews.
Other people.
Every page. We turn every page on camera. And you turn every page back, then I turn them back again.
Well, there's always something to talk
Talk about, correct.
So,
and we give value for money, our reviews. And we don't give them 5 out of 10.
It's a non-profit, so we're always looking for money.
Yeah, we don't...
Why are we looking for money? To buy more books.
That's
how
right.
much books cost?
Yeah. Especially for people like you who don't read them.
I hate reading.
Yeah. And I'll let you in on a secret here, folks.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see the book. He'll see it from a distance. He wants to see it for the first time under the camera. He wants to express his primal
Who's this?
disgust or primal joy at seeing those pictures for the first time.
Who's that?
Under the camera. You.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, because I don't like reading.
Yeah, he doesn't like reading. Does a bit of writing, but doesn't like writing either. Apparently
writing's rotten.
Writing's connected to reading
No.
in some sort of strange way.
I get impatient. I don't like writing. I get very impatient. I don't like reading. I get very impatient. This is my speed. This is up to my speed here. This is where I'm at the correct...
This is all you're reading and writing here.
Yeah, this is where I'm at my correct
Well, I must admit
speed.
that in the caricatures you've been doing for the last 40, 50 days, one every day, hello Guinness Book of Records, stand by,
No, it won't be a Guinness
I noticed that the people that you actually know personally, there's an extra vump in the drawing, you know.
Right, well,
Yeah, a bit of vump in it, yeah. The life force. You capture more of the life force.
Yeah.
Although you did a really funny inebriated Edgar Allan Poe.
yeah. He had a coping mechanism out of a bottle.
Yeah, well, it looked like he'd never get
He had
his
a bloody hard life. Jesus.
It looks like he'd never get his licence, that's for sure.
He had a very hard
Yeah.
life.
You know, they asked him, did he believe in reincarnation? Did he want to come back? And you know what he said?
He said, no.
He said, never more.
Yeah. Okay. He didn't really say that, though, did he? So sort of a...
Well, it's been written down somewhere. I'm
yeah,
pretty
you
sure.
wrote it down, I thought.
It's been written down somewhere.
Yeah, you wrote it. This is... Look at this. It's like a loose tooth.
Yeah. Quick, get a dentist here.
I love these Prismacolor whites. They're very, very...
If you were
strong
wealthy,
and opaque,
would you get a
But they're
dentist to
very
sharpen your white pencils?
soft.
Would you?
Yeah. So they're very, very soft. And that can be problematic because sometimes you need to press hard in order to get a bit of contrast.
Yeah.
So you can see the contrast levels I'm building up from the toned paper.
Yes, yes.
The grey toned paper is actually meeting you halfway, which is great.
And there's no fat on the face. It's all
And
muscle.
you see this.
It's all
these
muscle.
lines.
And they've been pulled here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
And really, they're passionate lines, are they? Those ones down there, are they?
These.
Yeah.
Look how deep that is.
Wow. The grandest of canyons, that one.
Yeah. So anything to do with the mouth is either, if they're not a big eater or a big yakker, a big talker, that means that they're
It's
passionate about it, because you know how when...
Well, how come Charles Kovas hasn't got big lines running down his face? Because he's a passion provocateur.
How do you know he hasn't got big lines running down
Well,
his
I've seen
face?
his face several hundred times, you know.
Well, I think you have to...
He's on television every
Everything
Sunday
is
night.
measured, so you have to look at it in terms of its relevance to the rest of the features. Where's he disappearing to?
I'm just measuring it.
So lines on the face are indicative of thoughts that constantly play over the features, move the features around.
Manifested by emotion.
Yeah, because we're
Manifest.
well. The most important thing about people is that they're emotive. They're emotive beings. They're
People who need people.
yeah, but people who feel and they what's the word?
Their life's
Shared feelings. You know, what's that word?
their life's achievement is on their face.
Yeah.
Writ large.
No.
Writ large.
No, because their life achievement is something that comes on the outside. This is something that shines out from the inside.
Okay.
Because this is actually thoughts and ideas and feelings and things. So, you know, if you were to yell at someone a lot, they would show it up on their face. If someone was to talk a lot, you know, they would show up on their face. If someone was to worry a lot, it would show up on their face. I mean, this we take for granted, right? But
We do.
You know, it goes very micro into this world of what happens on the face. Very micro. In other words, you know, all of these little micro things that happen to you show somehow through the vehicle of the tissues of the face, the muscles. So the face doesn't have a lot of fat because the face exercises more than any other object, any other element of the human body. The face gets more exercise than anything else.
Billy Connolly is very tall as well for a Scotsman.
Yeah.
And Ian once went and saw him,
Right.
and he was sitting in the front row. And
Okay.
Billy Connolly walks up and down like an expectant father on stage. You've seen him, how he
Yep.
walks up and down.
Yep.
And he kept stopping in the mid-stride and turned and looked at Ian, kept looking at him. And Ian was tempted to crack a joke, but he held
Held
on.
back.
He
You
What
didn't heckle.
He didn't. What a great bloke, you know. And he'd get the eyebrow arching up, looking at him, you know. Anyway, when he went out there, when the show finished and they're all hanging around out in the foyer,
Yeah.
all crowd, because he's such a tall bloke, everybody kept looking at him like, is that him?
Is that him? Can I ask for an autograph?
And I think they had similar clothes on.
Right.
So if you actually spot Billy Connolly or someone who looks like him walking down the street, say hello, and it's either going to be Billy, although he'd be on a tricycle, wouldn't he? A tricycle motorbike. Whereas Ian doesn't ride a bike. No. You can fit.
Ian probably drives a tiny little car.
No, he
being
drives a
giant.
biggish sort of car.
Oh, does he?
Because you can put big cartoons in the back seat.
Oh, of course.
You know.
This is the reason why.
Yeah, he's always showing off his back seat. Look at that. What's that? That's looks like a tanner from here. No, close. Yeah, so he's met a lot of cartoonists. He's a genial giant. I think you've caught the genial giant in him. That's very good, Frantz.
It's all right. I need to get a side light over here. We're going to try to build that up. I'm aware that this is
I
taking
don't
a long
like
time.
this clean.
People with hair.
I don't
can
like this
take a long
clean
time.
line here, but it's got to be all over the joint. Think.
Yeah, but I like that.
Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Go for it. So how would you describe your form of caricature? You wouldn't, I know.
A
But
form of caricature.
yeah, how, because you keep on saying I draw. I'm a drawer, not a caricaturist. So how would you describe this type of drawing then, if it's not caricature?
Character.
Character drawing. Well, that sounds like a compromise to me.
Yeah, character drawings. So you're trying to uncover a character.
Oh, that's pretty close. That's pretty close.
Yeah, see, I don't...
That's the
It's
black.
all right.
That's the
We'll do.
Australian Cartoonist Association logo, which is
trying to be, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
not bad from memory.
I keep pulling out the wrong bloody... No, that's not it either.
With a name like McCall, he would be Scottish background, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's retired now. And
Yes.
he spends a lot of his time doing things for other people.
Yeah, like helping you with the
Yeah, or
museum.
going and helping someone with a chook house, or he goes down
Chook house.
and helps Peter Nicholson, who's retired cartoonist,
Yep.
do bits and pieces. And he's down near the beach, down somewhere down there.
Peter Nicholson?
No, Ian.
Yep.
And
What's the beach? You mean on the bay?
yeah, on the bay, and
Okay.
they have clean-ups, and he's always there, stuffing the bags full of, plastic bags and all the things that people leave at the beach. So he's very community conscious, this bloke.
Yep. He'd do you a favour before he spat in your eye.
Well, he'd probably miss because he's pretty tall.
Yeah, but you'd be tapping the top of your head, I think, if he actually
Yeah.
did that. Is it raining?
No, it stopped. But the indoor trees are all getting blown around out the windows there.
It's one of those days where you just feel that you should just get the dogs and go back to bed and Netflix the rest of the.
You sleep with
time.
dogs. What do you say? What?
My daughter's dogs that sort of take over the bed. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What
would you?
I haven't
You
had
don't
dogs
watch
for-
Netflix. You watch old Lost in
Movies.
Space and all that stuff.
Yes, I do. Yeah, much to the annoyance of my wife.
Yeah. How many times you watched that? Not enough. Oh.
No, I just tell her it's new. No, it's new.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this before. But it's Dr. Smith. They've all been dead for 50 years.
Yeah.
new.
I wish Dr. Smith was dead for 50 years. Personally, I don't know. I never shared your joy in Dr. Smith.
Oh, the pain.
Oh yeah, the pain. Yeah. Although I loved, the only reason I watched that show because he had the early episodes had Robbie the robot.
The first episode of anything is usually quite good because
Danger, Will
Until
Robertson.
they-
Danger.
they, get silly writers.
What?
They tend to sort of over-dramatise things, and that actually works quite well.
You mean they
with,
go for it because it's only a pilot,
Yeah.
and they'll go for it. I mean, if
I don't know,
if you don't
maybe.
reach for the moon, you don't get off the planet. That sort of writing.
I don't know what it is. Star Trek first season was fantastic.
Well, could it be that they just run out of ideas? All the ideas get used up in the first couple
I've
of
heard
episodes.
that. Maybe that's the thing. I think maybe that they change. It changes somehow You know, people, you can talk about The Simpsons a lot, and people often think that, you know, that after a certain period, after a certain season, the writing is not as good. I love The Simpsons. I can't tell whether
like, it's
that's
still
true or
going,
not.
isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, of course it is.
No show's gone as long as The Simpsons. No television show's gone as long as The Simpsons.
I think Days of Your Lives are probably...
Oh, well, is that a television show?
Yeah. I think that's probably
The Bald
longer.
and the Armpit.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Yes, well, I thought MacDonald Carey was a good actor until I saw him on that show.
Well, I liked him in These Are the Damned,
Yes.
based on a book
Yeah,
which I loved, which I read.
He was in some terrific B movies, wasn't he? He was in
yeah.
terrific B movies.
What was that book that I read?
You read a book?
No, I didn't.
Hello, Guinness Book of Records, stand by.
I listened to the dramatic reading of it.
Oh,
The
you read the comic?
the Midwich Cuckoos,
Oh, yes.
and
That's British, isn't it?
yeah.
Didn't he write The Triffids? Is that the same writer? Did the
I don't
Day of
know.
the Triffids?
Maybe. We had the Triffids as a book set for school, like a part of the curriculum.
We
It's on
did
the
too, but a teacher came along and said,
Took
no,
it
you're
away.
not doing this.
Yeah, bastards.
And we did, we did,
Dracula.
no, we did Merchant of Venice instead. That's right.
Well, that's not a book. It's a stupid play.
It's a great play.
Stupid play.
Does not a Jew bleed? You're getting lazy using a thick one now. I like it when you feather it.
Yeah, but it's going to take too long.
It does.
So the benefit of this Posca is it dries flat. It's an acrylic, but it dries flat. So I can use this, mix this up with the ink brush, the Zig ink brush.
Yes, and the other thing about Ian, he's actually gone around and made the effort and gone to meet all the cartoonists. And I think he's got more people to join the Australian Cartoonists Association than any other person Australia-wide.
Yeah.
And he knows more cartoonists than me, personally, so that's, I'm cheesed off about that.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. I've got to be good at something. The
Right.
best at something,
What I've just done there is there's get something to point at that's not going to mark that thing. I'll try this. These highlights, right? So you've got like a shadows. Oh, sorry, light sources coming in from. Oh, you know what I should do? It's probably fix this outline a little bit stronger.
Stronger?
Yeah. So
Oh, you put white there, good.
just sort of make it a little bit, kick it out a bit.
Yeah.
So there's a light that's coming in, basically favouring the right-hand side of the object, of the head, and this area, this shine area here, is based on the shininess of the skin, the reflectivity of the skin, either oil or it's just sometimes skin is smoother and it just tends to throw up more reflection, more light.
Why
But
does
it happens, in concert with it next to dark. If you put a highlight, the highlight stands out more because it's creating a contrast.
Why does the beard always go white before the top of the head? Why?
I don't know.
Well, I thought you might know.
No.
Okay.
Why are you asking me?
I thought you might know. You know all about the geography of the face.
Yeah. So talking about the geography of the face.
Yeah. This is before.
This is the before. This is Ian McCall. And his very
And his jester outfit.
yeah.
And
Very interesting cartoonist and
well, that's what he
collector
looks
and
like now.
Presidente,
That's what he looks
etc.,
like now,
etc.
actually. And that's
And this is my version of Ian McCall, and this is...
And I congratulate you. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, and this is Frantz Kantor and
Jim Bridges.
saying we'll see you on the flip side, whatever the hell that means.
Well, it means we'll see you on the flip side. What's on the
Okay.
flip side? It's
Always tomorrow.